HarperCollins presents Jimmy Page, The Definitive Biography by Chris Salewicz. Read by Tom Mcgairl. For Alex and Cole. Preface. One chilly February evening in 1975, Jimmy Page journeyed in a black Cadillac limousine to David Bowie's rented house on 20th Street in Manhattan. The Led Zeppelin leader and Bowie had known each other since the mid-60s, Page having played on several of Bowie's early records. The pair were also linked through Laurie Mattox, Page's Los Angeles-based underage lover and a cause of considerable concern in the Zeppelin camp, thanks to criminal complications this could create for the biggest band in the world. What few knew was that Bowie had taken Mattox's virginity when she was just 14. With the superstar pair having been reintroduced by Mick Jagger, Bowie had invited Page over to his place for an evening's entertainment, largely comprising lines of cocaine and glasses of red wine, along with Ava Sherry, Bowie's girlfriend. Mired in his cracked actor phase, Bowie was known to be living on milk and cocaine, and on the edge of madness. He had been inspired to devour the writings of Aleister Crowley, whose philosophy he had first dabbled in during the late 1960s. Bowie believed that Page's deep knowledge of Crowley had enhanced the guitarist's aura until it was rock hard and ringing with power. But despite being intrigued, Bowie was extremely wary of Page. Conversation was somewhat stiff, although there was brief talk about Page's progress, or lack of it, on the soundtrack to filmmaker Kenneth Anger's occult masterpiece, Lucifer Rising. Attempting to inquire how Page had developed his extreme aura, Bowie found his questions were never answered. Page would simply smile mysteriously. It seemed that he did believe he had the power to control the universe, wrote Tony Zanetta, the head of Bowie's management organization Main Man, in his book Stardust. Besides, Page was only too aware that Bowie was picking his brain, endeavoring to crack a magician's tricks. At one point, Bowie disappeared out of the room, and Page accidentally spilled red wine on a satin cushion. When the singer returned, Page tried to blame Ava Sherry, who wasn't in the room. His guest's inscrutable behavior had already rankled Bowie, and now he knew that Page was lying. "I'd like you to leave," he said. Page's response was simply to smile at Bowie. The window was open, and Bowie pointed at it, snapping his words out furiously. "Why don't you leave by the window?" Page remained sitting there, maintaining his enigmatic rictus smile, gazing through Bowie. Finally, the Led Zeppelin leader stood up silently, stepped towards the front door and left, shutting the door forcefully behind him. Bowie was terrified. Immediately afterwards, he ordered that the house be exorcised. A sensitive soul, whose perceptions were addled by drugs, Bowie believed it had become overrun with satanic demons, whom Crowley's disciples had summoned straight from hell. When he later ran into Page at a party, Bowie straight away fled the event. Introduction. John Bindon, Led Zeppelin security guard, had stagehand Jim Matzorkis pinned to the floor of a backstage trailer at Oakland Coliseum. Bindon, a sometime actor and London gangland heavy, who had reputedly once bitten off a man's testicles and would stab another man to death the following year, was viciously pummeling Matzorkis with his fists and feet. But it was only when Bindon started trying to gouge out the stagehand's eyes that Matzorkis fully appreciated the danger he was in. For much of this day, of Saturday the 23rd of July, 1977, the possibility of such a grim outcome had been building. Many of Zeppelin and their crew seemed in a state of permanent rage, as if they had surrendered control to the large quantities of drugs consumed during the course of a 51-date tour that had begun on the 1st of April. Later, Jimmy Page would be obliged to deny that what happened that day was karmic recompense for his flirtations with the occult. "I don't think we were doing anything evil," he said 2 years later. It was especially ironic that what happened at Oakland Coliseum that day, which would utterly transform the fortunes and career trajectory of Led Zeppelin, should be on the turf of Bill Graham, whose Fillmore West had
Sample complete. Ready to continue?